is finishing their daily issues and commitments and joining us. We are probably already on Facebook live streaming from what I can see. We still have 1 or 2 minutes before I start announcing our amazing speakers tonight. So feel free to grab your drinks, maybe finish your snacks before we move on. For those who are already in, and I saw some people join us even 10 minutes, 15 minutes before, wanted probably to save the seat. I'm very happy to welcome you all tonight for our Women in Tech panel discussion, dedicated to the issue of identifying and creating a woman-friendly working environment. So it's not a secret that women in tech underrepresented globally, and especially in Japan, it's quite a problem. So today we have 5 amazing working professionals and activists to share their tips and insights on how to create inclusive working environment, how to empower women dive into tech, and how to help them thrive. So I'm just quickly introducing our today's speakers. We will definitely move on to the more detailed introduction later. So today I'm really happy to welcome Annie Chan, founder of the Women Technology in Japan, and also Christy. We're also happy to welcome Brianne and Ron and Hiromi. They will introduce themselves later. Just to get you guys introduced quickly to the agenda, we will start from welcoming note and intro. We will move on to the introduction of panelists. Then we will have a panel talk where you can ask all of your questions in the chat. I do not guarantee that we might answer all of the questions in case of many, but we have several team members working in the chat. They will be supporting us behind the scene. They will be taking care of your questions. And last but not least, we will have a speech from Annie about job market trends and time for the last Q&A. Okay. Okay, I hope that everyone heard what I just said and everyone just saw what I showed, right? Please give me some signs. Again. Good evening, everyone. Once again, it's really very weird feeling to be alone in this room right now and know that we have a lot of people watching us right now, joining us from everywhere in Japan and maybe around the world. I'm really very excited today to have a panel discussion with amazing, talented women who not only managed to get into tech, but also managed to strive and make their career. So before we move on to the main panel discussion, I would like to introduce our organizers who are behind this event. And I would like to start from introducing Annie Chan. She will have several minutes introducing Women in Technology Japan. Annie, you have your mic, please.
Yes, I'm unmute myself. Hello, everyone. How are you? So nice to see you all in digital space. My name is Annie Chan, originally from Taiwan. I'm just as Sasha said, I'm the founder of Women in Technology Japan. I will be talking to you after the panel discussion, but before that, I'm just gonna make a very quick introduction about Women in Technology Japan by showing you a few slides. And Sonoko, can you help me with the slide? Thank you. Okay, Women in Technology Japan is a volunteer group. We provide a forum to inspire, connect, and empower women in technology, and also grow the next technology female leader to be the forefront of innovation. The next. Okay, in the past 7 years, we have done many free events and mentor dinners, and we also go to the high school and university to encourage younger to study STEM. So if you like what we do, please join our mission and be a change agent. So next one, you can connect with us through all our social media. And also we post a lot of articles and our event. on our social media too. I hope that can see you soon. Okay, so over to you, Sasha.
Okay, thank you so much, Annie, for introducing yourself and Women in Technology Japan. Please give me a couple of minutes to introduce Wagon. Okay. Okay, so I would like to have a couple of minutes to introduce Wagon and why we deem so important to have events like this tonight. I start from explaining what is Wagon actually. Wagon is a global coding bootcamp. And what does it mean? It means that we basically teach people how to code and how to build web applications from scratch in a very short period of time. And we have been ranked #1 coding bootcamp worldwide according to our student reviews. We are very global. We have a huge community. We have campuses in 39 cities around the world. And I am the one working in Tokyo. Since founding, we have over 8,000 alumni graduated from our boot camps and 250 in Tokyo. So we also proud to be a birthplace of many startups that has been born out of our alumni projects during and after the boot camp. How do we teach? What do we teach? We usually teach web development and data science. Our boot camps come in 2 formats: full-time bootcamp, 9 weeks, and also part-time bootcamp, 24 weeks, for those who have some work and family commitments. And what do our alumni do after the graduation? A lot of them join tech companies as developers, product managers, UX designers. Some of them launch their own companies, some of them become freelancers. We have a very diverse career path after the graduation. And why we deem very necessary and very important to participate in this event today, because we really strive to reach a gender parity in our boot camps. We feel that women in tech is very underrepresented in Japan, and we try to empower women by giving them knowledge, good environment, and also opportunities to make their first step into tech and also to strive in tech. So far, we are working very hard towards it, and our last batches have over 30% of women enrolled, but we are really trying very much to increase that number. And some of the successful stories that I would like to highlight: our amazing female alumni become developers, become product managers, also become entrepreneurs. And how we want to make a difference. The first step that we already achieved, event like this today, is a very important to educate and to promote the Japanese society about the women in tech. What we are really trying to achieve is that we want companies to understand the necessity of a scholarship, providing talented women with opportunity to go through a tech education. And that's why I'm asking companies like you, maybe some of you work in a company, some of you maybe owning a company, to think about sending some of your employees to our tech boot camps, or maybe providing with a scholarship to get a tech education. We are open for a dialogue, and if you have any ideas, we can brainstorm and we can come to some conclusion. Thank you so much. I hope it was not very long. Yes, we are right on time. We are right on time. Thank you so much for listening. And right now we move on to the introduction of our speakers. Maybe let's start from Christy. Christy, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Christy. I'm from China, Hangzhou, which is Alibaba city. And I came to Japan 6 years ago, and I was a graduate from Wagon, where I learned coding from zero experience. And then I joined CNNT Japan. So I'm working in CNNT Japan as quality assurance now for almost 7 months. Yeah, that's my experience here. Glad to meet you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Christy, for introducing yourself. Brian, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Brian. I'm from Canada. I've been living in Japan for about 5 years now. And this time last year, I also graduated at the Wagon, same batch as Christy. And I've been working at Local Folio as a product specialist now for about 8 months and working from home since March. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you so much. Hiromi, could you please introduce yourself? You did?
Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. Thank you for having me. Good evening. My name is Hiromi Watanabe. I started a career in the typical Japanese big company first, and 4 years ago, I met Annie in AC Global Solution, and I changed my mind to join to consider my future career practically and joined Darktrace. It was British company, is led by female CEO. During in Darktrace, I gave birth and back to work as a working mother.
Thank you so much, Hiromi, for introducing yourself. And Ron, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, good evening. Very nice to be here. And my name is Rong. I've been working in IT for more than 20 years here in Japan. And thanks to Annie. And yeah, Annie, you helped me pretty much to join a foreign company, which is much nice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Great, good. We are done with introductions pretty fast. It's amazing. We have a lot of time for discussion. For the audience, just wanted to say that we have chat. And feel free anytime you have any question to our presenters, feel free to shoot your message to the chat. Definitely we will answer it during the discussion. I'm watching it, and also we have several team members who are right now present in the chat. They'll be also taking care of the questions. So please don't be shy. This is a very unique and amazing opportunity to talk with soulmates and learn a lot, maybe share your experience as well. Good, then we move on to the panel discussion. And my first question, so I will ask questions to everyone. I don't have some particular questions to any of you, but in general, so feel free, if you want to answer first, feel free to jump in and answer it first. My first question will be, can you please tell us a bit, what do you do at your job? You gave us a short introduction of yourself and a very brief history and just a general introduction of your company, but what is behind your title? What do you actually do at your job? We can do the same order as we do the introduction, or...
Okay, I'll go ahead. So now I'm working as a quality assurance in CNNT Japan. My role is like a bridge, one of the bridges between the client and the development team. So my development team are mainly in China. The developers are mainly in China, and my clients are mainly in Japan. So there's a culture difference and a quality image difference and other things. So it's quite interesting to work in between those. And now our project mainly building CMS for Japanese manufacturing companies. And so for quality assurance, it's like to make sure what clients want can be made by the developers, and how make sure the developers deliver the thing the clients actually want. And before IT, so I joined IT industry last year. Actually, before that, I was doing trading, so totally different industry. And then I decided to make a big change before I hit 30 years old. And then I joined the Wagon, which is a really nice boot camp that I learned about coding, from zero experience, and we learned about the Ruby and the framework to build things from zero. And I spent 9 weeks there, and then that's my first step into the IT industry. And after that, I joined CNIT. That's how I came to this industry.
How big is your company?
Our company is based in Brazil, and we have an office in Japan and China and other countries as well. In Japan office, we have about 30 people, and we are expanding too. If anyone's interested, you can join us.
Sure. So if you have any open positions right now, feel free to advertise them right now. As I believe there are a lot of women joining us who might be interested in following your career path and also making a first or maybe second or maybe third step into tech.
Yeah, we're always recruiting QA, PM, business analyst. So if any of the wonderful people here are thinking of joining, welcome to contact me.
So do you think you might share your contact afterwards so people interested might contact you?
Yeah, sure. And our HR contacts as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Christy. And again, I remind people to shoot their messages or questions if they have any. I mean, we can always come back to the topic afterwards. And so the same question, what do you do at your job, Brian?
So I'm a product specialist, which is sort of like a made up title, and I just do a little of everything. When I was first starting in January, I was focused on QA. So I was writing a lot of Selenium tests and doing a lot of different sorts of QA, different sort of testing and different testing frameworks. And once those were set up, I started to focus more on custom JavaScript. So I work at Local Folio, which is an advertising agency for small and medium businesses. So we create the advertisements online for the small and medium-sized companies. So I write custom JavaScript for those advertisements for the small and medium companies, which is sort of like a now and then sort of thing, like maybe 3 or 4 times a week that comes up. And then I shifted into as well working with SQL and querying the database a lot, which is something I learned at Wagon and never thought I would do, but here we are. And then I shifted again, and I do still do that from time to time, but now my work is focused more on wireframing and creating mockups and designing our internal products, which I absolutely love doing. It's really fun to be able to start something from scratch and create it for the entire team, and then we'll be releasing it out to the world at some point. And for the most recent internal product that I helped design, I asked the lead developer if I could take care of the front end because he did it in React and I have never touched React. I don't know anything about it, and he gave me the go ahead and set me up in a environment. So I'm going to be working in React starting next week. So it's a ever shifting, ever exciting job.
Yeah, it's always learning, right? Once you
start always
working in tech.
New. Yeah, always but it's always completely different new things. Like I never imagined that I'd be working in Figma and SQL and React in the same week. But it's really fun.
It's challenging going out of your comfort zone, but at the same time growing.
For sure, yeah. And we're also hiring, so if anyone wants to join, please come. Please come with us.
Please come to Local Folio. Maybe Brian will share contacts after that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, Brian. Hiromi, can you please explain a bit what you do at your job? And also, besides your job, I would really love to hear about how you manage to juggle both mothership and work.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me. I'm working as a cyber threat analyst. I'm strong in cybersecurity, so I yeah, halfly I produce weekly reports for contract to customers. Doctors has 1,000 customers in the globe, and analyst team is I belong to a global team, global analyst team. So I produce weekly reports, and halfly I work on SOC monitoring. And first, for producing weekly reports, I can work very flexibly. I'm able to start work afternoon or very early morning. uh, very flexible. So if I'm busy in childcare, when I go to when I take my kids to clinic or others, I choose producing weekly reports. And soccer is also good for mothers because very uh, time schedule is very fixed. So never I experienced overtime work because yeah, soccer operation team is kind of follow the sun. So when the evening came, the European team take over our operation. So good for mothers to pick up kids in daycare early hours, we can finish work. So and nowadays, yeah, I liked soft cooperation because I'm able to see the latest malware campaign or the like showing in news programs. Uh, Recently, big Japanese company Mitsubishi or Honda or Canon has become attack victim, and yeah, I sometimes see similar malicious activity in other companies. So very interesting. And when I produce a report, customer appreciate it, and also many customers and prospect appreciated my reading my blog. So actually, I'm going to. Uh, yeah, I'm going to join another company in September because
Congratulations.
I love SOC operations so much. I will start next career as SOC analyst, only SOC analyst. I can, yeah,
You're so
I can't
passionate
wait.
about work. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Ron, the
Yeah.
same question: what you do at your job?
Yeah. Basically, my client is Life, which is a foreign life insurance company, and my job is to basically is business and requirement analysis. So working between users and developers, analyze users' requirement, and also design the system, give the system specification for the developers. And after the development is done, I need to check if the system is really can meet the user's requirement. So that's basically my job. Yeah.
How big is your company, and how many years of experience in IT do you have?
If you say IT as I started from 1996, so that's 24 years. Okay.
It's really amazing.
Okay.
We have people with different backgrounds and different
Yeah.
experiences here.
Yeah, yes, I just worked in IT from the very beginning, and 3 years in Japanese companies, and yeah, 20 years for foreign companies in IT here in Japan. In fact, the working in client company, which was in Akasaka, but moved to Shibuya in May. But the thing is, I started working from home in March, so I've never been to my new office yet. Yeah, I hope someday I can go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have already several questions. Rose, your question will be discussed definitely later. We have a whole chapter for that. We have a question for Brian. Brian, did you have a background in computer science before entering the workforce as a developer? Secondly, how did you find pivoting to design? I'm a designer with an interest in web programming and already see the benefit of knowing more about the later in my work. Thanks. I'm reading just because some people in Facebook might not have access to chat. Not that boring person, sorry. Brian, the question to you.
So number one, did I have a background in computer science? No. I started from absolute zero at the Wagon. I didn't know anything. I was a teacher before this, and I was a wedding planner and bartender before that. Pivoting to design. My boss asked me if I was interested in getting into design, and I said yes. And so I just started taking online courses that they were supporting me through, and reading everything I could and listening to every podcast I could, and just getting really absorbed into it, and supported by my boss, and then getting hourly, daily, weekly feedback from my whole team. And it's been incredible. It's something that, like, hindsight is 2020. You're right. There's a huge benefit in knowing more about it, and I wish I'd started earlier. It's a great asset to have no matter what you're doing.
Good. Thank you so much, everyone, for answering the first question. And we move on to the second one. What was the biggest challenge for you when applying and getting a tech job? So this question might not be for everyone. So those who want to answer it, please just unmute yourself and answer. What was the biggest challenge for you when applying and getting a tech job? Did you have any challenges?
Can I answer that?
Sure.
I think tech companies, many tech companies prefer senior engineers with backgrounds. Their resume is very attractive. However, for young people, it's challenge to show our ability in short resume, and this cool discussion in interviews, and tech qualifications is also good. And nowadays, tech coding interview is getting common. So I think it's getting very fair for young people, but it's challenging to compete with senior engineers. It's challenge, but not impossible. There are a lot of chances for young people.
Thank you for your insight so much. Brian, you also raised the hand.
Yeah, I guess just to echo that, like, the biggest challenge for getting a tech job was getting an interview. Mine was through connections, but as a brand new developer, it was really challenging. And then being at my company now and seeing the hiring process of other engineers, I mean, like, oh, they've only got 2 years experience, maybe that's too little, is really interesting to see from the inside. So like they encourage at Wagon, like really working your connections is a big benefit.
Great. Any other tips? But I think Ron entered the workforce really long time ago.
Yes, but I'm not kind of person that like to change my job. And you know that I've been working in this company for 12 years again. I guess. So for me, the challenges always because they have different requests, and it's my skill set meets their requirement or not. It's just yeah. Of course, when you are young, you don't have enough experience. I guess I think yeah. But what you can do is to show them you're willing to learn, and to say your ability to learn. And if you can show them that you can learn very quickly, and you have a strong willing to learn, I think that really helps.
So I have a question to you. Since you entered workforce really, like quite a long time ago,
yeah.
And probably you've seen a lot of junior specialists joining your team right now. Do you feel there is like something changed in Japan in terms of hiring women, in terms of hiring especially women in tech?
Yeah, I think women are involved in technical part more and more. Yeah, years ago, it's like more like simple jobs, where from not this high technical involved. But nowadays, you see more and more women involving with high technologies. But yeah, this job is really requires keep learning and learning and not easy, I guess. Yeah. If you want to join this industry, you need to keep learning, keep starting, which is not easy. Be ready for that.
Be ready for that.
Yeah.
This is the motto of our today's event. Be ready for that. Thank you so much for your insight. And we have a question from Michelle. How long did it take to find your first tech job? As someone who is trying to enter the iOS developer job market, it seems very daunting. I catch 22 because I can't get work experience until I get hired. Probably I would like to address this question to Christy, as she has this experience as well.
I think it took me 1.5 months about that. But I was like doing a lot of interviews during that time as well, and talked to a lot of the job hunters as well, like the recruiters. And during the peak, I think I had like interview every day that time. But I know like we also, I think Michelle also didn't have any time for the work experience. It's same for me and Green, I think. We had no experience. It was of course tough at first, but just keep going. I'm sure there will be a good company for you, like no doubt.
Great. Thank you so much. If someone else wants to answer this question, just feel free to raise your hand. Yeah, Brian, please.
It was 4 months for me with like almost no interviews. So persevere. It'll finally come. I had like completely given up and decided to move to Fukuoka and try to start looking there because I just was sick of looking in Tokyo. And I got a short-term 2-month contract at Local Folio. And my boyfriend was like, well, what if you get a full-time offer? What if you get a full-time offer? I'm like, I'm not going to. Like, my technical skills are lacking too much. My Japanese skills are lacking too much. And I got an offer. So just hang in there. It'll come when you least suspect it.
Yeah. Is it luck or is it hard work? Thank you. Okay, so we move on to a very sensitive topic that probably a lot of women here would like to hear more about. The talk is about identifying and creating a woman-friendly, inclusive environment. And we will start from the question that I saw in the chat and from Rose. If you could choose one word to explain a woman-friendly environment in a company, what would it be? What is a woman-friendly environment? How do you imagine that? How do you explain that? I mean, not one word, maybe you can have some small talk here. Would really appreciate it. Anyone? Yeah, Hiromi, please.
Yes, thanks again. I think having lots of female leaders is very important. In my Doctors has a female CEO and a lot of talented leaders, female leaders. Because one female leader refer other talented older classmate or older colleague, and so in such a company, will successfully hire a lot of female leaders and employees. I think if the company has 50% women, female employees, it's not difficult to create a fair culture for women, I think.
I completely agree with you, but what is important is that what kind of employees are those 50%? Are they just get scared people? Well, it might be the case for many companies. Like in this case, companies might say, yeah, we have over 50% of employees, but they are just doing some mundane job. And so what kind of employees are those 50%? Probably this is important.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I totally agree. Management and executives are important. The female CEO is still there, but female executives or female managers are getting common.
So, a question probably for you as well. What are the experiences you think is required to become a leader in a tech company? As you mentioned, we need more leaders. How do you become a leader in a tech company? What are the experiences?
Oh, maybe hard work and leadership, and make working environment better place, and appealing ourselves to executives. It's most important thing, I think.
How do you appeal yourself to executives?
Oh, if I have a chance, one executive from headquarters, I don't miss a chance to having a lunch and having having a chat and appealing myself in natural way. I succeeded in this project, and I made a leadership in this project, and so on. Sometimes a little bit exaggerate.
Thank you, Hiromi. Brian, you wanted to add as well?
I just had a question for Hiromi. I agree completely with what you said, but in these challenging times of working from home, how do you do that? Like, because you're right, like going for lunch, like it's easy to catch someone and find someone by the water cooler. But now, how are you thinking about that?
Oh, that's a good question. After becoming work from home, I have never had a lunch with executives to be honest. However, executives, we had some chances to have online discussion with executives. In such a moment, in that online meeting, we were more than 30 people, but I didn't hesitate raising my hands and saying my opinions and suggesting good ideas and so on. Probably I'm aggressive person.
Thank you. Ron, this is probably the question for you as a person having a lot of experience in the IT background. Ron, do you think the female leader require extensive engineering background, or just understand how things work is sufficient?
This is pretty hard for me to answer. Just from what Hirumi said, I just realized I never had a female manager. I never met I never realized this. It's the first Hirumi, thank you. I just realized this. And personally, I guess I'm not that type of person. I'm more focused on technology part. I like technology part. I'm not kind of people to appeal myself. Yeah, I like the kind of just analyze the document and give my solution and solve the problems. But when it comes to lunch or nomikai or whatever you need to appeal, no thanks. I'm not not good at that. I'll give my solution. I'll try to give more options and to analysis which option is better for this situation. But appeal myself, I'm not good at that. I know myself.
It's really interesting to see the different tactics a woman deploy.
Yeah. I think it's just need. I guess everyone needs just. I know what I'm strong at, and I'm so weak at. I'm not good at. I know what I'm not good at. I'm not good at talking with people or just leading or making the schedules or makes everything ongoing. And just let me focus on my job on the technical part. That's what I want. Yeah, maybe I'm not a good example.
Yeah. So Farron asked the question, can I ask about why the word aggressive is always used to describe assertive behavior? Farron, can you elaborate on this question? You mean in Japan, globally, aggressive in terms of the women trying to appeal themselves, and they often described as aggressive? And once Farron maybe type in, we have a question from Sylvan, founder of Wagon. Based on your experience and beyond the usual stereotypes, do you think tech companies are more or less woman-friendly than non-tech ones? Sylvan, do you have this question to all speakers or to some particular person? No one in particular. Okay, so maybe Christy, could you please take on this question?
I feel it's similar because I don't know. I used to work for a trading company, so for the traders, it's basically a more guys environment. So, and now CNNT is super woman friendly, and we have many women leaders, many women managers. So like I don't have like a long experience in IT, so just take it now compared to my previous industry. I feel IT is not that like less woman friendly. That's what I feel.
Brian, do you have the same experience, or you can add something else to that?
I worked in a lot of really women-dominated industries before. So this is my first tech experience, and I have to say it's incredible. My boss and all of my teammates are so supportive. I really consider them allies, and I know that my experience is not representative for everyone, but I've had a really lucky, wonderful experience so far.
Well, actually, your experience describes one of the topics that we have been discussing here. It's what is a woman-friendly environment? What kind of conditions do we need to have this inclusive environment? First, maybe supportive boss, right? Who understands your needs, who understands you pretty well. So team members also very important to have very supportive and understanding team members. Thank you so much. We have a lot of questions, but not so much time. But this is the one question that I found really interesting. Have any of the speakers ever experienced pushback or discrimination pursuing careers in tech, whether or not it was obvious or more subtle? How does, if it does, inform the way you navigate your work, carry yourself professionally, interview process, advocating for yourself, defending your work? Does anyone wants to take on this question? Have you ever experienced discrimination in tech? Person careers in tech, maybe from, I don't know, from whom, from parents, from friends, from potential employers?
From ex-boyfriends.
Brian, please.
I've gotten pushback for trying to pursue enrolling in the wagon from ex-boyfriends.
I don't like this guy.
They're ex.
So what was his argument? Why he didn't want you to enroll into the boot camp and get a tech education?
It's too hard. I wouldn't like it. He wasn't technical either. I don't know why he thought that. Yeah, but yeah, don't listen to anyone.
Thank you. Does anyone want to add? Maybe Hiromi, have you experienced any discrimination or pushback?
Yeah, it may not be discrimination, but to be honest, there are some Japanese men, as old men, who believes all women want successful marriage and becoming housewives. So in such a company, if there are in such a company as there are lots of such a men, old men, probably woman, it will be hard for women to get chances and get trusted, maybe. So I think I love the company having a lot of female managers.
Yeah, Ron,
female, yeah, powerful female managers change the culture. Yeah.
This is actually one question to you. You used aggressive by describing the way you raised your hand, appealing to men. Why did you use the word aggressive? Do you consider yourself aggressive?
Oh, sorry. It was kind of a joke. I'm not sure it was a correct word, but I don't hesitate to moving forward and not to miss the chance. That's why I said aggressive, but I'm sorry. I don't know. It's a correct word. I'm not native in English.
No, it's actually very important. So you might not believe, you don't deem yourself aggressive, but maybe from the outside, male might deem you aggressive. So this is what society wants.
Probably.
Wants us to believe that women who want to pursue a career in tech, they are like, sharks, they're aggressive, they like bite people, they want to get more chances. This is just a like assumption.
Maybe, but I never minded it.
There is a strong belief in many men that women are weaker in STEM field. I see their faces expressions now as speakers, like, really? Ron, what do you think about that? Do you believe that many men are weak, many women are weaker in STEM?
I don't quite care about what they think about me. No, yeah, of course. I think it's pretty common. People thinking that women are not so strong in technology, but I think from another point of view, it's pretty good of us. You see, you join a team, and the others might say, "Oh, we have a woman here, and okay, what can we expect from her?" And so, if you can do as good as they will say, "Wow, she's great." I guess they have a low expectation for you, and it's very easy for you to show you are strong, to surprise them. And yeah, basically, what I want to say is, well, it doesn't matter what anybody else think about you. Doesn't matter. You believe, if you can believe yourself, just keep on what you want to do.
Thank you for inspiring all of us here, saying such a powerful words. Just don't care what they say. Thank you. We have a question from Rosella. What we can do to help foster a woman-friendly environment where we work, excel and try to move into leader positions, to be included in the hiring people development process? How to foster, how to create a woman-friendly environment where we work? Does anyone want to take on this question? What do you think could be improved in current working environments in tech? What can be improved? What can be added to make it more inclusive? Does anyone want to take on this question? Difficult, sensitive?
If the company is hiring, why not referring your best friend?
Yeah. Okay, and also we have a very little time left. We might take one question right now. What is the best way for hunting for a tech job? So recruiter agencies or just applying directly to companies? How good are your chances if you don't have tech work experience and any tech background? I'm self-taught, but you have some programming portfolio you can show. I think, Cassie, your question could be addressed to Livercon Creates. Christy, what do you think?
For the tool, like who to go through to look for a job, I think just try everything you have. Use all the resources you have. Your friends, your recruiter, anyone you can get into this IT industry, because you would never know like which one is going to be your not ideal, but like a best fit for you. So I would say like try everything you can. For the recruiters, I know usually they prefer people has experience, because of course the recruiter would want to go for higher positions, and they don't recommend you to change industry like that. but believe in what you want to do and keep trying new resources and you will get it. And well, how good are your chance if you don't have tech ground experience? Yeah, if you're interested in getting a tech job, what the Wagon taught us is to keep building your own side projects when you have the time, so that you will have the resources to talk during your interview and show that you are really willing to learn. It's not just by words. You can show them your business idea, your website, your program. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christy. So for now, we move on to the next session, which is very directly connected to what you just answered about the job trends. As Annie will have a very short speech about the job market trends in Japan. After Annie finishes her speech, we will also have time, 15 minutes, for all the questions to Annie and speakers as well. So feel free while you're listening to Annie, type your questions. Okay, Annie, I'm giving the microphone to you.
Okay, hello, thank you so much for the panelists, very inspirational talk. Actually, I'm currently at Aomori, so I wasn't sure the Wi-Fi is good enough. So I recorded my speech. I'm just going to play recording. Okay, so Sonoko, can you just put it on for me? Thank you.
Sonoko, can you hear?
Everyone, so nice to meet you all at the digital space. Very excited to collaborate with Blue Wagon. If I'm 10 years younger, I will sign up the coding bootcamp immediately. Before I start my topic, please look at this latest data of women's participation in the workforce. You can see women in the management role has increased 4% in the past 4 years, but still far from the world average, 30%. And sadly, failed the government target 30% by this year. So the government has decided to extend to 2030 to achieve the target. I urge all the ladies here, be aggressive to contribute to this category. In the software engineering, Japan's women ratio, 14% is not bad compared to the world average. But why the progress is so slow? I have no answer for that. But I do agree, more company needs to have quota for gender hiring to reinforce the change. So I wish all the Wagoners has a successful career so as to contribute to the gender diversity in the software industry. My community, WeJ, will continue to advocate and encourage the young girls to study STEM. Now, let us get into today's topic, how to find the right company. Before that, I do hope you already know what is your career objective and you have a don't want this. This will help you choose the right company. Many great jobs actually come from recommendation of one of your contacts, but don't just jump into it because the name of the company. You have to do your homework. The Amazon Japan might not be the same as Amazon US. Since we are living in the interconnected digital world, and much more so these days. You can find your dream job through your own research. Recently, one of my candidates found his dream job by himself, but he came to me for advice for salary negotiation. So find a very trustworthy recruiting agent as your promoter is very helpful to define the right company for you. They can do all the research work for you and make sure they tell you the truth about the company they recommend. I know there are too many agents around and can be annoying. Let me give you a tip how to find a good one. A good agent will work extra mile to connect you with those companies who does not use agent as a sign of kindness. As for women, you need to find an agent who aggressively promote diverse hiring. Before you make a decision to which company to work for, it is important to double check if the company's culture is aligned with your values, goals, and lifestyle. So, you need to have a very good CV to get an interview. It is important to write a standout CV. There's a few tips here. In terms of length, for new graduates, only 1 page. If you have more than 3 years experience, 2 to 3 pages. As a technical person, you probably need a lot more to write about your technical skill. Maximum 4 pages. The content of CV is very important. Make sure you have a strong summary statement to catch the reader's attention. Don't forget to use keywords, because the HR or the recruiters, they probably only spend 5 to 10 seconds to screen the CVs. And some companies use software to do the CV screening. So you have to make sure the keyword is right. If you have no actual experience, please to make sure to include a portfolio of your related projects. Computer skill, language skills, award certification are all needed to put on your CV. After you've finished, make sure the CV provides the best image of you. Okay, now you have a good CV. You know how to choose the right company. What happens if the job market is not good? We are in the middle of pandemic. The job market is indeed not very good. But here I want to tell you, there's positive outcome from the COVID-19 pandemic, because the digital transformation is indeed accelerating and will continue. So there's a lot of jobs available, and also some new innovation will continues to come. Here's some areas they are still looking for people, like cloud, remote work apps and tools, AI, RPA, IoT, data management, cybersecurity, e-commerce, and anything related to sales and marketing for tech product and services. A lot of companies still in the middle of a digital transformation. That's why they need a consulting firm to help them with that. So the consulting job is also very much in demand. I just want to give you an idea about the available job we have now, the request by our clients. I'm not here to sell you anything, but if you're interested to know about the job spec, please do not hesitate to contact AC Global Solutions. You can take a screenshot here. Here also there's some email for you. We will provide you a free career counseling or give you some advice about your CV. Lastly, if you can find any good company and having hard time getting a job, I encourage you to be an entrepreneur. You know, crisis creates rare opportunity. So be creative and fearless. Create your own job. Thank you very much. Please ask me questions.
Thank you so much, Sonoko and Annie. Annie, there is a question for you regarding the Japanese CV. How do you think the Japanese resume influences on discrimination? Patty is asking, I have been asked to include my marital status, if I have or not have children, age, and other personal information that it won't be usually included in the resume for other countries. What do you think about making the resume in Japan?
So let's ask for me, right? The CV.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of CVs, depend what kind of company you're applying for. For Japanese company, definitely you need a Japanese CV. And the Japanese CV also have two kinds. One is called a very standard Japanese format. That doesn't say too much. It's about your name, the school you're from. Then there's another one is about your working experience. I don't think you, for the standard Japanese CV, you really need to write your age. That's required. Your birthday and your age, that's for the Japanese CV, but not for the English CV. So for English CV, you really don't need to mention your age at all.
Annie, do you think this is a discrimination when
no, I don't think it's discrimination. It's just it's just the rules. The Japanese company, to be very honest, I think Japan is trying to make a lot of progress. Before, when I'm a recruiter, before in the Japanese company, they would say male preferable. That was allowed, okay? Because for the IT job, they want the male. But now this is not allowed. So I can see the progress is making. But in terms of, but that means the CV, the Japanese CV, the format is the age is there. But not just the CV. If you read Japanese news, you see anybody, any celebrity, whatever, they have to take a black, they have to tell their age. This is the culture. Okay, right. So that, but these things, and it needs time to change, but I don't think it's discrimination. It's a culture. But not just in Japan, I see some other Asia country also. I think it's something, if they feel like it's sort of identification, they have to know that person's age, it's sort of image. I don't think it's discrimination. It's very different cultural way of thinking. It's mindset, you know? So that's my opinion.
So you also mentioned image. Do you feel, I mean, I don't know about the Japanese CV, but I think in Japanese CV, you need to put your picture, right? Is it normal for Japanese CV to input your picture so they can see how you look like?
You don't have to put your pictures, actually. You know, it's not absolutely required. But age, yes.
Mm. Thank you, Annie. Thank you so much for your amazing speech. And also, Annie is open for any other questions. If you're searching for a job, if you're planning also to change a job, you can contact Annie and ask her about the job advice. And also, as I read here from Hiromi, Annie raised her salary 150%. That sounds amazing. if you want to have the same stuff, might contact Annie for advice. Also, the question about the pay here. We know that the wage gap between genders exists in tech. Was it challenging for you when you negotiated your salary for your current role after the Livagon, or considering an increase? I think this question could be addressed to several people. First question, do you think there's a wage gap between genders in tech in Japan? Maybe this question is to Annie.
Can I repeat again? The question is, do I think there's an age gap?
No, wage gap. Do you think there is a salary gap between genders in Japan?
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Yes, it is. Okay. First things is, I think male got paid 20 to 30% more than female. But I don't think it's that much in a tech job this day. But this is not just because the male, they deserve better pay. They also, I think as a women, we also need how to learn how to negotiate salary. Women usually, they don't, when they negotiate salary, they're being so conservative. They were thinking about, okay, if I'm asking about this, I have to do so much, okay? So they're thinking about all that huge responsibility. Oh, I'm gonna have a family, I have a kids, and maybe I have an elderly. Women are worried so much about, okay, I get paid, I have to deliver. Men don't care about that, right? Okay, men say, I need to raise about 30%, and they usually get it. So I urge all the ladies, when you negotiate salary, you should set your goal higher. Okay, because when you set your goal higher, if you of course you have to know yourself. You have to have a confidence. You have to have a pull factor you can deliver. When you set your goal higher, even your boss say, "Oh, sorry," but you can negotiate down a little bit. But please don't set your goal low, because I'm telling you, this is the truth. If you put the guys at the same level, they have absolutely the same level, have the same capacity, the same job. You put it in a different room as negotiate salary. The guy will ask 40%, okay? The lady will probably ask about 10 to 20%. You know what? The guy will get it. They get it maybe 30%. And the lady will get what he wants, 10, 15%. So that's a big gap. And they are exactly the same level. It's how you negotiate salary. Right? So I think, but and now this day on a tech company, I don't think they can do that. But because when you go in there, when you a salary, they usually pay your salary based on your current salary, right? So you have to learn. That's why have a good somebody with friends or recruiter or anybody can advise you. When you're going to salary negotiation, you need to learn the tips, how to negotiate salary. Please, yeah, I'm really willing to help all the ladies. You can come to me, I'll help you, I will guide you. But this is something I think all the women will need to learn to negotiate. We have to know our own worth. We also have to have a voice to present that.
Thank you so much for encouraging women to go and ask for a high salary. This is very important, as many women probably too shy to ask for a raise. And so second part of the question is addressed probably to Christy and Brian. What was that? How do you negotiate? Was it challenging for you when you negotiated your salary for your current role after Livagon? Christy?
I was connected with some recruiters. So as Annie said, a trustful recruiter is quite will be very helpful if, especially considering of the salary part. So at that time, I connected with several recruiters, and one of them is I really trusted them, and through them, I negotiated with my salary.
Brian, can you add something regarding this point? How did you negotiate? Was it challenging for you to negotiate the salary?
Yes, Like I mentioned before, like I was so shocked to get my full-time offer that I didn't ask any questions and I didn't negotiate at all until a few weeks later when I came back and asked to sit down and talk and negotiate. And again, my boss is a strong ally for my personal development, my career development. So he told me like what HR was offering and he asked what I wanted and negotiated on my behalf. So for me, it was, he was a stronger negotiator than I was for myself at that time. I was very lucky.
Thank you so much for your insight. There's also a question. What are your thoughts on reality of females employees with kids at work? Hirome, this is for you. Is it possible to continue staying top of the career and balance? I used to work for IT company, and even though there are many female managers, none of them were married nor had kids. That was very disappointing reality. Hirome, this is a question for you.
Oh, it can be happen. So if the female managers are not married, I would ask her help for the male manager who has multiple kids or having working wives. It's not the gender sexual issue. So the fathers, working fathers, will provide you advice, I think. What about ask them?
Okay, thank you so much, Hirome. So we have many questions in the chat, but only a couple of minutes to answer. Okay, really a lot of questions, and there are like people asking Annie to share contacts. So maybe Sonoko, if you're there, could you please share links for contacting Annie? And I know that several of our speakers wanted to share their contacts with the audience. If someone has questions about how to get a job into tech, how to get a raise of 150%, also how to learn how to code and go through Levagon and get a first tech job. Also, probably I had a lot of questions and we didn't have time them answered, but maybe the last question is that how do you think we should engage men in solving this issue? So we can talk endlessly about how important it is to empower women, but very often the decision makers for the raising the salary or creating a good environment are men. How do you think, what is a good way to engage them in the conversation and actually changing the situation? Does anyone want to take on this difficult, sensitive question? Annie, if you also want to answer it.
No, I just want to mention one thing that's very important. I think all women are over mentor on the sponsor, okay? So all the ladies, really, you need to find a man as a sponsor, really important. When in a company, mentor, easily to find a mentor. But sponsor is somebody who's more high up, who has a power, who actually has a plan, who can bring you up to the certain position, climb the corporate ladder. So those are so important. The sponsor, we need a lot of men. You need to have this in your mind. Find the man sponsor, get men involved for your career development. It's very important.
When you say find a sponsor, or like you mean
inside the company, even if don't have to be inside a company, or somebody who has contact, who does know how to guide you. Okay, that's how to guide you, because most sponsor actually is a guy, because they're all in the senior executive role or board member, whatever. They're all guys, majorities are guys. In the tech industry particularly, probably 98, 99% are guys. So I think for women, really need to find sponsors. Mentor, a lot of women easily find mentor. They're female, they're male mentor, but I mentioned is the sponsorship is so important for women to climb the corporate ladder.
And so,
I think one of our audience might be able to answer. Yukali, I saw Yukali is there. Yukali, can you answer that, please? I know you have, you know.
Yeah.
Yukari.
Hi, all. I'm Yukari, located in Tokyo, working in a financial company, the Goldman Sachs, in the engineering. Goldman, like we have a female network, like women in the engineering network is a female network as a whole. And yeah, I totally agree with Annie. To have sponsor from female and male both are quite key to raise our career. And in our firm, there is the sponsorship program as well. So we have a match up with the male, female, both the sponsor assigned to the high performing female. So that's a really great one to look for. Either male or female can be our role model, like how to success the career. Hope I can answer the question.
Thank you so much for your insight. Yeah, talking about the sponsor, this is something that I also mentioned before. Levagon also looking for the companies who could provide sponsorship packages for women who would like to go into tech as their own employees, or maybe some other talented woman. So, but we have a very important question from Neomia. What is the difference between sponsor and mentor? Annie, this is a question to you.
Oh, they're very different. Yeah, they're very different because the mentor will help you or guide you on your career advancement. Okay, but the only sponsor who has the power to get what you want to be, to get the position you want to be, the leadership role, that has to come from the sponsor, not from the mentor. The sponsor is the person who has the power, who has a plan, who can make a program for you. You know, where if you want to become the manager, the person can help you, actually can execute that for you. Execution is more important. You can't be just talking about mentor, then there's no execution. Sponsorship is execution.
Next time, I definitely got an idea. Next time we have a woman in tech panel discussion. I'm inviting some older managers, male, so who can actually contribute into the solving the issue, which will be really difficult for me to talk to them. Need your help with that. Okay, thank you so much for your amazing questions. I'm really sorry that we won't be able to answer all of your questions, but you can always reach out to us. You can always reach out to me for connecting you to all the amazing speakers. You can also reach out to them directly, to Annie. And I believe Sonoko left the link to contact Annie. I also left the link to take a look at the Levagon. Also, we have Anne here, and Anne is a part of the very powerful and very inspiring community in Tokyo called A Woman Who Code, a global community which also has a chapter in Tokyo. They also have a lot of events which aim to empower women, especially in tech. This is probably the time that we're gonna wrap up this amazing panel discussion. Thank you so much for all the speakers for taking your time and sharing your tips. I know that some topics might be uncomfortable and sensitive to share your opinion, especially because we all are working professionals here, and sometimes it's difficult to talk about it. But I believe that this is just a start of their amazing and insightful dialogue that we have within our community, and also by spreading the word about our activities to the outside. Thank you so much for coming today. Annie, thank you so much for organizing this event with us today. We really appreciate your help and support. Thank you so much. Wrapping up.
Thank you, Wagon. Thank you very much, Sasha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing evening, and thank you for joining. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.